Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestro, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is July 21st, 2025, and here we are with another show. Welcome to Negotiating Happiness. I'm your host, Adriana Fiestro, and we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network at 105.3 and 107.7 FM in the beautiful city of New Orleans. If you wanted to watch some of our shows on your big screen TV, we're also on Roku TV. Just type in UFO Paranormal. I am here today with the lovely Britney Ashley from Creative Dynamics. Hi, Brittney.
Hi. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on again. I feel like we could make it a regular series, you know?
Yeah, well, we should. I think, like I was saying I think I said to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
That we should do it, like try to do it at least once or once every other month. So then between both shows.
I know, right? So yeah, no, it totally works out. So today we wanted to talk to you guys. I mean, we've talked about this before, but let's just do a proper intro in case people are not familiar or, you know. So we are sitting down with Brittney from Creative Dynamics, and we're going to have an insightful conversation about business audits. I talked about it last week. We're going to continue the talk because it seems that it's really helpful. At least those are the trends that I've seen. So I'm going to ask you about that in a minute. Brittney will share her take on how audits are going and kind of what you need at every stage of the business journey. We wanted to look at how we can start, revive, or scale a business and what to avoid during the process and how to make it a tool for sustainable growth. So let's do a little bit of an intro for Brittney here. So who is Brittney? She's an enthusiastic, multi-passionate entrepreneur on a mission to revolutionize the business game. With work landscape changing at warp speed, it's high time we team up to make our dreams a reality. Beyond the business hustle, Brittney is a proud Me Tea mama with a bundle of experience in diverse sectors, including tech, a certified business coach, ACC Accredited, and an Imposter Syndrome coach. Creative Dynamics started as a passion project aiming to empower fellow moms to work from home. It evolved when Brittney spotted a gap in finding rock-solid team players. Picture Creative Dynamics as your full-service boutique-style crew spread across Canada to supercharge business owners. At Creative Dynamics, the values are simple: dedication, reliability, and an unwavering commitment to learning, all in the name of tending to business needs. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to come on here.
I'm going to have to update that mini bio because now I'm also a trauma with money practitioner.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. I see you and I have had that conversation. So yeah. I'm so glad that you brought that up.
Well, I do so many courses. You can't keep up with me.
I know. But that's good, though. That's good. I'm just going to send a message here to everybody that's live saying that we are live. Send in your questions.
Yeah. I'm excited to be here, though. I can't remember the last time we've had this chat.
It would have been like this year? Know, a couple months ago, maybe.
2025 has been a whirlwind, y'all. Like, if you watch the show, because I'm on the show at 12, yes. It's just been such a whirlwind with kids being super sick in 2025 to loss of daycare to all the things in between. So I've just been bobbing my head up in water and sustaining life as best as possible. So it's been a wild ride and I can't even get over it. Like, we're almost in August.
That's such an important comment to make, that you're just sustaining life, because there's just so much going on, you know.
I've had some people come up to me and hello, Melissa. I've had some people come up to me in just kind of networking events and they're like, we see you everywhere. You're killing it. You're doing this, 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 this. I'm like, what you see on social media and what you see like in the forefront isn't what's really happening behind the scenes. And I say this a lot on Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, is like, remind yourself to give yourself grace. One, this is always something that I always advocate for, but then also two, like, you never don't judge a book by its cover, because you never know what's really happening in behind the scenes. And with social media, it's like that pretty upfront, like, oh, she's killing it, she has all these awards. I'm like, I'm literally drowning over here. Like, I feel like I'm just bobbing through water and just able to sustain, as Adriana knows, like, I'm just pointing over here because my cat's over here, but we just had to take him into emergency vet visits since Thursday. And so it's just been like one thing after another. I feel like I'm like, oh, I'm August, putting out the positive energy. Let's switch it up, please.
What didn't you know that we're going through like another Mercury retrograde or something?
No.
Yes, that's exactly it. So if you're on that train, on the astrology train, then you would know that this is typical. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm so excited to talk more about business audits, all the things business with you, because I think it's so important. I feel like not just on like, just going back to like the social media front, like a lot of people have a lot of things going on in their life, business and professionally. And so I think it's like an important to reminder, reiterate it, that life isn't all what it all seems to be on the social media game and what you might be thinking.
Yeah, and I mean, you and I work closely together with the business audits for the most part, and it's like I feel like everybody's sort of tuning in at this moment, and this is a really good season for it because everybody tries to slow down in the summer. So this is when you do this stuff because maybe you do have a little bit of a break, and maybe you want to start off fall like full speed, and this is how you do it. What do you like? Tell me some of the trends that you're experiencing, like whenever you're talking to people about this.
I would say a good chunk of people that come to us for business audits are the one that are in a state of panic, because they just feel like they're already like state of panic, state of burnout, just the state of overwhelm in essence. And they know that they want to scale up, but they're feeling like they keep hitting a wall.
Yeah.
And a lot of that could be within the systems. One of the recent audits that we did not too long ago, I think it's a combo of systems and team. HR rolled into it a bit.
For sure.
If you're a team.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, hi, Michelle. She's saying good morning from rainy NW, Oregon. Ooh. Hello. So just so you guys know, I know that I have a lot of, Canadian hosts, but Brittney's actually on the other side of the country. So she's all the way in British Columbia and I'm in Ontario. So hello from everywhere. Hey, we have some sun.
It's really nice over here today. I would say it's supposed to be 24, 25 Celsius. Don't know how to convert that to Fahrenheit. My brain doesn't want to.
That's funny. Yeah. So I guess when you're thinking about, what stage you're at, what I would say, what my personal opinion is, don't wait until you get into that mess of feeling overwhelmed and you're overworked and your team is feeling, the same kind of effects. Or maybe that's part of the reason, who knows? It happens. Everybody feels like they don't have any of their, systems together. It happens all the time. And for some reason, every time we talk to an entrepreneur or a business owner, they're just like, yeah, sorry, I don't have this and I don't have that. I'm like, this is normal. I want people to know that this is normal. And when we do send, I kind of explained a little bit last week about what the process is, and we have a questionnaire that we want people to fill out. When we send that over, we understand that it's overwhelming. And it's overwhelming for a reason, because it's asking you the questions that, there's so many things that you need to always be thinking about, and you're not, and it's making you realize that. And I'm like, we know that, but we want to know as much as possible to see, hey, where can we lend a hand? Where can we improve a system? Where can we do this and that? So always do your best when you're getting these kinds of questions, and maybe they're more of a reflection, right? And that's okay. Don't be so hard on yourself. We're doing it because we're those people that are trying to fix it. We're not trying to shame anybody into it.
Yeah, and I feel like we're our own worst
critics.
Yes, we're our own worst critics, and I think we all have, like, I think a good chunk of us are high achievers that are entrepreneurs, and a good chunk could also be people pleasers. So I think when we're trying to build a business and then we want to ask for help, it's hard to ask for help because some of us who are like, they've had maybe a business for 20 years and they're coming to us for the business audits, they're feeling a bit of shame. And like we're having this conversation with one of the clients is like, we're not here to shame you. It's just we're here to like really try to understand the full business inside and out so we can build the best recommendations possible. And if we're coming at you with different questions of different angles, it's not to like again shame you. It's really to make sure we understand what you're saying and what your perspective is, because we want to build a plan that fits you as best as possible. And like I had one of these conversations a while back with one of our shows that we've done, but I had hired in the past multiple different consultants and coaches and all the things. And this is why I became a coach and followed this more of landscape, is because I kind of got brainwashed in thinking of there was no kind of strategy behind it, to be honest. And like even my sister-in-law was like, you're really smart in business. And when you hired that person, it was like, you just wanted to like listen to everything that they presented without having like followed through with strategy and proper presentation, where we're like really digging into the meat of it. And we're really like trying to understand like your KPIs. We're trying to understand your marketing. We're trying to, okay, why is your pricing here? Have you ever thought of this way? Versus when I worked with this person, like this is when I first started. I've been almost doing this for 7 years now, which is bananas. But when I first started the business, like fresh out of the kitchen, they were like, just charge $3,000. And I remember being like, sure, okay, like, but really, because somebody in tech and building proposals, like I could have charged so much more really at the end of the day, but they just didn't have a strategy in place. They just said, charge $3,000. And this particular client that was asking for help was build a website, build a marketing plan, do course implementations, all within 3 months for $3,000, which is like, to me, like, if anything, that should have been a retainer of 3 months, like per, you know?
It's just not a good strategy to start throwing prices around like that without understanding where the business is. Because for some businesses, maybe doing a website and having a strategy out, $3,000 is actually a lot and you probably don't need to do as much. But then for other businesses, $3,000 is just a start because you don't know how long it'll take and how complicated it is, right? This is why we have to take the time to get to know everybody's business as it goes through. But even as a business owner ourselves, think about it. How long would it take you to dissect everything, right? So how could you let a stranger in without giving them that time? So when we came up with these services of the business audit, everybody saw value in it. That's why they keep coming, to do these, because they see it also. I was just posting here really quickly just to show you, and obviously like a business audit is not $3,000. It is a introductory offer that everybody can afford because we want to get to know the business and to say, hey, here's what we think should happen for you. So this is kind of what the business audit flow, right? I didn't show that last week, so I thought I would show it this week. So we basically meet up with the business owner. We'll talk about, hey, what do you think your needs are? We think you should probably go through an audit, and then we send a proposal and an invoice. Then we have a questionnaire for the client. This is the questionnaire, that's step 3, that everybody's sort of like, oh yeah, they get overwhelmed because it's a lot of information. I think it's about 60 questions or so. I mean, some of them can be answered fairly quickly, and some of them I think you need a bit more time.
I added more to it too.
Oh, did you?
Client culture and all those, like just a little bit more, because I find it's nice to understand where their vision is too for client or team culture is. And I what was the other one? I can't remember, but I was like, yeah, we'll add these in too.
Yeah. No,
they definitely get overwhelmed for sure, because I don't even know how many questions, to be honest, but when you're in a state of chaos already, that's the last thing that you want to do is sit down and like do a questionnaire in a way like that might be your brain state at the moment. And so when I was talking to the one client, I was like, just take 5 minutes a day until we have our team meeting or whichever, just take 5 minutes and try to do as many questions as you can and just break.
So that would have been number 5 here, the review meeting with the client. So basically in between, once we get the questionnaire, we review it to make sure that we're not missing things. And if we are, most likely we are, we talk about it in the review meeting. And then after the review meeting is when we work on the report and we deliver it to the client. And after that, you sort of get, I was saying this last week as well, you sort of get this map of, can I do some of those parts myself? Do I delegate some to people like Brittney and I, or maybe they know other third parties, depending on what it is, and what is the timeline? I think the timeline is most important because it's nice to have this, report and feel like you've got it all together. But if you're not implementing any of it, you're kind of still at square one, right? So the whole purpose of it is to say, what's the timeline? When can you actually get started on this, right? But this is how it all works. And the reason why I'm showing this is because this is how your business should work too. You should have a process for things. You should have a detailed map, because if I'm not here, let's say maybe Mel will come in and she'll know what stage they're at. So she'll know what the next thing to do is. Like, I'm going on vacation soon. So this is great to have, right? Yeah. What are your thoughts, Brittney, after doing this a couple times? Well, more than a couple times now.
Well, I love the flow. The one thing that I was just gonna say is I find after 6, a lot of people enjoy just the quick 30-minute check-in. And so, I know it says review meeting if necessary, but I think I kind of push for it because at the end of the day, some of them are just so overwhelmed already, and then they have this documentation, and pushing them to really put the comments within the Google Doc before we meet too is good, because I'm the one person, I need to process things. I can't sometimes jump right in and be like, oh my goodness, X, Y, and Z. Sometimes I'm like, okay, let me think of different angles to make sure we're getting a full, clear picture here, that we present the right findings or whichever.
Right.
But this is, in a nutshell, what everybody should follow when you're doing proposals on your end. How do you feel when people ask you to book in a discovery call right after a proposal? Because you have your discovery call proposal.
So do you mean to talk about it more?
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't, because typically so my discovery call is, I think, longer. So I give them the hour. So I give them the hour at the beginning, and then I do the proposal and invoice, because by then they're clear. We've already gone through the stages. So I tell them, you're going to get the questionnaire. That's the next step. And then we're going to review it. And then we're going to have a meeting again to kind of fill in the gaps. And then you get a report. So I think they know. So they kind of hold off all of their other questions until the review meeting, if they have any.
Yeah.
But I warned them. I full-on warned them. I was like, the questionnaire is overwhelming. So you're already a busy business owner. This is going to be overwhelming, but I want you to answer to the best of your ability. This is why I try to give them the week. So then by the time that we have the review meeting, they would have had a week to kind of fill it out. Some people do, depending on your personality type, some people do a really good job. Some people, you could tell that they just don't have the time. So they're doing the best that they can. And that's fine too. We'll work with that too. We just try and fill in the gaps as much as possible in the review meeting. So they won't have a discovery call after, because I think I give them enough time at the beginning.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I find when I probe a little bit first, in the call, and then I regroup again, it helps. Even with, I guess, the recent clients that we've done the audit for, I think because they were in such a state of overwhelm, that process helped a little bit more to get more out of them once we hit the meeting. So I think with me breaking it up in miniature check-ins helped.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Yeah, it's just we're just slightly different with that, right?
Yeah.
But that's okay. I mean, we work together, which is nice when you have two brains. I've done a few of these on my own as well, but they're more I don't know,
I think two brains are great, because then you can come in, and or if internet crashes, the other one can fill.
Yeah, I don't know what's been going on with my internet. It's been so crazy. Even today, I was on, a call with Melissa, and I just kept telling her, I was like, my internet is still acting up. So I keep getting notifications on my phone that all these apps are using my data instead of Wi-Fi, because I think the Wi-Fi is kicking my phone off too. It's
Yeah.
so weird.
Interesting.
So weird. So I don't know what is happening, but I was like, whoops. But at the same time, it kind of gives you a really good idea of who the clients are and if they understand that just crap just happens on a regular basis and you just have to adjust and go with it. It's kind of like how that business audit goes, right? Because I say to them all the time, I say, we'll tell you what our recommendation is, but at the end of the day, if that's not your priority, then I will adjust and we will
Yeah.
move on. So after this whole audit happens and you have that report, what do you want to do next? Right? Do you want to work on a retainer? Do you want a project base? Do you want, do you want to do a couple days here and there where we do VIP days? That's all an option. It just depends on what your priorities are, right? So we can only do so much, but at least now we have a starting base and you also understand where we think that you should be going next, right? So we have the 30-day business plan, the 90-day. It's not a business plan. This
Like
is
high
just
level, steps in a way.
Yeah. Like, what do you do immediately? What do you do in the next quarter? What do you do for the future? We've been actually talking to a lot of people that want to franchise a lot. So that's,
I
that
know.
seems to be really popular.
I think you and I need to tap more into that because actually, Nick, who I did my coaching program with, they actually work specifically with franchise models. And so when we talk a lot, he's like, you know a lot about franchising. He's like, but you've never built a franchise.
But you don't need to if you're already doing this, right?
Exactly.
So this is like the systems. This is like putting everything together to wrap up in a neat package that you can say, I am selling this to you. It is, I was able to replicate it and duplicate, replicate, whatever, and get great numbers on it. So here's what you've got. And a lot of people don't want to start a business from scratch. They want to like work on something that's been proven. And this is a perfect way to do it. However, you could have an amazing business, but because you have nothing backing it up except for what's up here, you can't sell that. You can't sell what's up here like that.
Yes. I always ask clients, are we building a legacy? Or like, it's just like, what are we hoping to build? And some people just want to be a sole proprietor. That's by any means. Sure. Like, that's great.
Are you ever taking a vacation though?
Yeah, exactly. I actually did like a training on how to build SOPs and why we need them in an organization. And they definitely push back a little bit, being like, oh, I'm a sole proprietor. I don't need anything. Like, I don't see the need for this. I'm like, well, do you think you ever want to outsource? And they're like, well, maybe. I was like, well, even if you say maybe not, it's nice to have some kind of foundation into your business, like your systems and all the things in between. Like, I know I wouldn't be able to operate without my CRM and flow that has yet to be triggered, but
But you know what I'm saying though, we're talking about, because this was hard for me too. Okay. So I started out as a VA. I tell the story a lot. It was hard for me too, to say, yeah, I can standardize my processes. I was like, no, I can't, because I work with different businesses all the time. The issue is you're so stuck in the way that you're operating that you're not seeing that there are other better, faster ways of doing things. And this is when we come in and we say, well, you can. I'm not saying that it has to be robotic. I think everybody's so afraid of automations, thinking that they're going to sound like a robot or an automated email, that they don't realize that that's not the point of it. The point of it is to have the skeleton in place, but you can keep adding on to the meat, sort of thing. So you can keep customizing those things, but instead of spending 10 minutes on an email, you're only spending 60 seconds, right? You're only spending 1 minute. So yeah, I don't think I could run my business without my CRM. And I don't have, my business model relies a lot too on retainers. So it's the same clients every time. So you would think that it's a lot easier, but it's not that. It's about organizing it, sending it out, being efficient on it. And every time there's a lead that comes through, it gets dealt with properly. A lot of people lose out on clients because they don't know how to deal with their leads properly and in a timely manner, right? So even when I do SOPs, because it's just me and I'm outsourcing some things and I have, Melissa that helps me. You still need to have some sort of indicator of, hey, what needs to happen next? And you can't always just learn it from time, spending time, because I feel like that's like the traditional, you need an admin assistant that's going to spend a year with you before they even understand how to do it all. That's not what this is. Right? It shouldn't be like that, because you're spending a year of you still having to cover for people. So the reason why we have SOPs is not that you have a big team or that you want to franchise. You have them so that you can also look at a glance. Are we doing this the right way? Should we be changing anything? Think of, this is a really extreme example. Think before the pandemic, all the stores that never had a website before. And the one that I always think about is my, which is a little bit different because it's obviously products, not services. But my mom's a tailor, so she likes to go to Fabricland. And Fabricland's never had a website before. Well, they were operating on a skeleton crew. Almost everybody lost their jobs. Like, I don't know how the store was doing, but they were opening like between, I don't know what hours to just do drop off. Is just to do pickup orders, but I'm sorry, you don't have a website. So what are you picking up and how? Because every single store had a different kind of fabric. Fabric, zippers, like imagine not having a catalog of all that to browse through. So what were your sales like? It was so hard to shop there. So I take that story and I try to put it into business now to be like, well, are you making it easy for your clients to shop? Can my assistant come in and assist you while you're on vacation to have that same flow, so that while you're sitting there sipping your margarita on the beach, you're still having leads go through?
Yeah.
Are you or no? Right? That's the difference, is you're always going to be tied to it.
Yes. Yeah. You talking about Fabricland. I was like, they're closing down here.
Right. Because they still don't have a proper way to do this, because they're still back there, and it's unfortunate because it was the only one of its like size and caliber to kind of be everywhere, that everybody knew about it. So they had such good potential, but they did not adapt to all of it.
I like to use Sears.
I know. Yeah, that's another one.
That's my go-to, because everyone knows Sears because, back in the, oh God, I don't want to age myself, but back in the day, looking into like the magazines and all the things, right? Like they're like, oh, it's working now. Don't have to change. But look at where they are today. They don't exist. And well, like there's so many prime examples, like even Blockbusters.
Oh, I know. So I understand that it's a little bit more complicated than that, and I'm not trying to, reduce it to just that. I'm just thinking there are things that you can do in your business that will not make you feel like you're falling behind. So for example, everybody's so worried about AI, and it's funny because in our business audits, I haven't suggested a lot of AI solutions, even though, so that everybody can hear it, you guys can all customize your own AI agents. And I understand that not everybody knows what that means, but let's say you do something that needs to be done in stages, but it's repetitive. You do it a lot. You can literally create instructions to have that happen every time. So all you do is just plug in information, it spits out the same thing, instead of sitting there and trying to talk to it like a person in hopes that it will give you the same format, right? So it's prompt engineering. But even with that, people are very hesitant of creating it. So you're either on forward or you're not, right? So it's weird. Like there's so many things that you could do with your business that don't require you to rewrite the whole thing. And I think I've shown this so many times about the operations map, because this makes people understand a bit more of how, everything's swirling around in your brain. Mel says it's so helpful. Yes. Thank you, Mel. But here's the thing. Like, let's say you're established, right? So you've already scaled. You've already got the team. You've already got the things you think you need to do, but you're growing again, and you're seeing what's going on around you. So they're afraid of it. So they're afraid of the automations. They're afraid of a CRM that could handle more volume because they're just so used to it, and they forget what this does. You being able to move on, what it actually does is it pushes you backwards, and it says, okay, but reevaluate. What about your brand? What about your leads? What about your clients? What about your team again? So before you can go to growing again, you have to go back and you have to say, what am I willing to change here? And a lot of people are not willing to change anything, and that's where they go wrong.
Yep.
Yeah. What's something that you had to change, Brittney, in your business that you never thought that you would? Even I'm talking, it could be anything, website, brand, like anything.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing actually I was told that I should change is that for myself, not to be the only one doing discovery calls.
Right.
That's the one thing for me I need to hold on to still. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not ready to let that one go. What I did recently was change the website, because for me now, being a certified business coach, imposter syndrome coach, trauma with money practitioner, I want that kind of segmented still on the website. So then we can see it all fully together. You get a whole encompassed kind of support system. So that was the biggest thing I've changed. And then my messaging.
Right.
Because I'm not just a VA. Like, we go beyond that. So like only this year, I've only put that more into play.
Right. So tell everybody what you mean by messaging.
So copy on the website, which we need to revisit a little bit, but it's working. But more or less social media. I'm not just stating like we offer virtual assisting. I'm making it sure that I'm being very specific on what I'm saying, like online business manager or fractional CEO. Like, this is what we can support you with. Business audits, like just black and white, really just being really straightforward on what we can offer and why and how it can leverage the business.
Right. So this is similar to me when I first started out, and I think I've said this, I've mentioned this story before. I didn't want to narrow myself into just, oh, we're just dealing with operations, because I wanted to be able to do everything. And while we have this idea that we are capable of doing it, it makes us look very scattered, and it makes us look very unrefined almost. So then you attract those kinds of clients because they come from everywhere. So they might have a really good person that they'd be a good fit with in terms of a VA or OBM, but because you're trying to kind of giving out all those vibes, you are attracting everybody instead of attracting the people that will work the best with you. This isn't about money. This is about your return on your time investment, your emotional investment. You're like, obviously money is an issue too, because if they're not at that stage, right, then you're not going to be a good fit, financial or service or quality, whatever the case is, right? But it's about how you spend your time. And especially because we spend one-on-one time with our clients, like you said, you still want to do your discovery calls. It's really important the kind of people that you do attract into this. So I lost my website at one point, and I had to create a brand new website in 3 days.
Oh, no.
Right? So it was almost forced out of me. And after that, honestly, I was like, I can do anything. I figured it out. I still got clients. It's kind of running on a skeleton right now, but it just showed you that because I focused, I was like, what do I want them to know the most right now? Because I need to get it done right now, instead of saying, I'm going to take another 2 years to build this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is you showing that you're willing to adapt. Sometimes you don't have any choice, but when you do have choices, it's harder to make that decision, right?
Yes. 100%. Well, like, I know you don't like Moxie.
Sorry, Moxie. Way to call me out on air.
Sorry. But I see the vision of where
wait. Let's disclaimer here. It's not that I don't.
It's not working to the full potential that it could.
Yes. So I see potential. I 100% do. It's not doing certain things that it should be doing, but I think they're working on it. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. It's not there yet. But there's certain features that like Debdato does really well that I could see that Moxie could definitely use. But I definitely feel like that was like the biggest switch for me, is switching into a different CRM, which it's still in the work in progress. And I think it's since February since I finally pulled the trigger. Like I was just kind of like floating on it and I finally just pulled it.
Yeah.
I've been seeing some positives already for certain things that I felt like super anxiety about. That was
Yeah.
already, it's like automatic for me. So the moving into a CRM, I think is really important. That is a right fit for you and what you like, and poking around in the back end that like for the interfaces too. Like for me, I personally, I don't have the biggest fan of like Honeybook's interface.
Yeah.
And
They've changed a lot though. I was speaking to Taylor from Sips and Scrolls.
yeah,
Shout out to Taylor. And she was saying that they've changed quite a bit and they've
yeah,
actually added some automations too, whereas before they didn't. So all these platforms are ever evolving because again, they know the importance of gotta keep it moving. You gotta like, continue to bring it for them. And they just and it looks a lot better. It has a lot more to help with. But I
mhm,
think you can start right from stage one when you're building. I think you can have a CRM there.
mhm.
Like I think
I
because
I did.
yeah, I did too. Well, I started and then I think a couple months went by and I was like, this is not feasible. So then I was like, I just pulled the trigger. I paid for it. And at the time, like I couldn't afford a lot of different tools, right? It was kind of crazy, but just do it because a lot of these places offer, free trials as well. The problem that I'll say right now is a lot of people do try many tools. And I mean, you've been a witness to this and then they don't know how to set it up. So then they think that this tool is not right for them. But
Yeah.
in fact, it's because it's not quite integrated into everything,
Mhm.
right? So that's a problem when they have two of them, when they have two tools and they're trying to do the same thing,
Yeah.
it's not quite there. So then it becomes a problem in here when you're growing, right? Because you can't mix in your internal and external processes in with another tool. So
Mhm.
your project management tool here on the right should be connecting to your CRM tool.
Yep.
How do you do that? Sometimes you do it with automations. And where else do they connect? They connect to your website or your marketing,
Exactly.
right? So it just kind of all flows. This is why I like to show this visual a lot because all of these are floating around in your head without any real plan.
Yeah.
But this is what you need to work on. And you can see it just gets more complicated as time goes by. When you want to scale, you have a team here to worry about.
Mhm.
You have a team, you have employees, do you have subcontractors? What do you do with them, right?
I find if maybe you're just starting your job, like you have a 9 to 5, say, and you're building your business on the side, having a CRM kind of at the starting point, I think helps because you can automate certain things.
Yeah.
So if you're in the 9 to 5 right then, it can kind of take over and help run certain areas. So for myself, I wasn't at 9 to 5, but I was on maternity leave and I just knew I couldn't get to like leads in a certain way. And so on the website, I just took Dubzato's forms and implemented on the website and made sure that there was a funnel. So it was still nurturing the lead until I could get on that discovery call.
Yes. Yeah, that's the same thing that I did, and I was also on mat leave, and
Yeah.
I started out with basically 0. I started out with contacts I had in the legal industry because that was the industry that I worked in before,
Yeah.
and then it just kind of grew from there, and now it's somewhere where I didn't even think was possible, right? So it's kind of cool that way of how we got it all there. But I guess the audit is like a detailed process of depending if you're in, build, grow, or scale or grow 2.0, which side are you on? Like, are you on this side? Great. So then let's talk about it. But let's say you're on stage 2 and you want to scale. We'll still talk about what would be a good team structure or what would be a future development for you. Maybe you only want to work with subs, or maybe you only want your team to be 2 people.
Hmm.
Right? There's people I know of people who kind of grew too quickly and they had so many subs, but when you actually do the math, which I was talking to one of my clients as well, and I mean, they make money on a scale that I'm nowhere near, but
Hmm.
it's kind of relatable because the more people you run, if you have crews or if you have employees,
Yeah.
the less profit you're actually taking from it, depending on what that magic number is on the formula, because there's more overhead. Right?
100%. Yeah.
It's the same thing with us. So, like, if I were to run to say, let's say I had double the clients, I would need so many more subcontractors to take care of everything. And when you look at the bottom line, you're like, wow, I was making more profit when I was just working by myself.
Yeah,
You know?
it's true. You're making me have flashbacks right now for what happened at my accounting meeting last year.
Oh God.
Coming up. We just did year end, so my brain's like, oh, let's just finalize it. And everyone's
Right.
like, oh, that's not fun in the summer. But to be honest, I'm so happy I picked year end for June 30th because we're done by September and I don't have to worry about anything over the holidays.
Oh my God. I don't even get me started. I'm the worst with this stuff. I'm trying to get it all sorted. And even today, I was like integrating the receipt tracker with the
Yeah.
QuickBooks. And I was like, oh my God, why am I still doing this?
I don't know what. Well, I always ask my sister-in-law, I was like, how, because she's my bookkeeper. I'm like, how do I
Yeah.
get better? Because I'm always trying to figure out what I can
You
leverage.
just get a bookkeeper and let them do it all.
I've been really lucky. She's been with me
Yeah.
since I started the business, so
That's nice. That's
super
really nice. I didn't have
rewarding.
that.
That's the one thing I knew I had to outsource because actually, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I thought I wanted to be an accountant. I was like top of my class, yeah, in high school, and I got referred out to do accounting. I was top of my class, so his name was Mr. Kerr. Hi, Mr. Kerr, if you've listened to this.
Shout out to Mr. Kerr.
He's like, okay, I see your potential. You got to go and try it. You're top class. You're doing A's, da da da. And I really thought I wanted to do this. And I went to the accounting office. I was like, this is boring. Like
That's
dying
funny.
in here. And then I like nixed it. So I have a good level of understanding of certain like reconciling and stuff like that and bookkeeping. But does it give me joy? No.
Sure. I mean, same, girl, same. And I was doing it by myself for the first little while. And then I was like, this is not for me. And I recognize that that is just not for me. We're having so much fun that I completely blew through halfway. So we need to do a station shout out. So for those of you that are just tuning in, you are listening to Negotiating Happiness. And we are live on the United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. And we are here with Britney Ashley from Creative Dynamics. And we are talking about business audits and how you can start, to switch your thinking or your mentality into what you need to do to make this flow a little bit easier for you. And we're kind of explaining our process of how we do our business audits for our clients. So if you are interested in seeing the behind the scenes, this is the episode. So if you want to go back and listen to it, it'll be on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, on the station channels, on Ontario Assistant channels, and it'll also be on SoundCloud as well. So just give us a quick listen, give us a follow or a like. And if you are trying to follow Britney, you can just go to creativedynamicsva.com or on Instagram. She's always present there too, and on Facebook. I'm going to paste actually some of these links. If you guys want to go straight to Britney's Facebook, just look in the comments and you'll see it there. I'm going to paste her Instagram as well because I feel like people are a bit more receptive to Instagram, I would say. Yeah. Let's see.
I do love Instagram. I'm trying to be more on LinkedIn, trying to push more content over there.
Yeah.
And I actually end up getting, I would say my goal was over there, but it's been hard, like I mentioned this year, to be present in any areas, it feels like. But I haven't reached the goal of what I want to do. But in essence, I would say I definitely got a few leads from it.
On LinkedIn or Instagram? Oh.
Where I've probably ever gotten, maybe since I've been doing this, one lead off of Instagram. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm on the right track just to be more present over on LinkedIn and pushing more out there. That's why I was telling you we should doing like the lives, like the business talks. Like I actually been finding those to be pretty good as well.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm just trying to figure out where everybody lives, right? Like I say this all the time to clients. I'm just trying to see if it's Instagram or if it's like, I think there's a lot of people on LinkedIn as well. But honestly, I've had a lot of success on Instagram lately. And I mean, even from last year, even from like 2 years ago, I was shocked at how many people were finding me through there.
Well, that's
Right?
good.
Yeah.
Well, I think being active on, like, I know I always try to tell people to pick one platform that you feel most comfortable in.
Yeah.
And then really, I just try to get like a social media management tool and then cross promote. Like just be focused on that one and then cross promote on the others.
Yeah.
Like that's what I do. But I try to just be present on at least Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I would have to say, like, um, I'm not on Facebook as much as I'd like to be, I think. But I'm also on Instagram probably more than I would should be. I don't know. I don't know how to like say that. But it just depends, right? It depends. Sometimes it can be okay, right? Yeah, it just depends on your audience for sure.
Yes.
Okay. I was just trying to post it. I didn't realize that this platform doesn't let you post to LinkedIn. Good to know. Here you go, StreamYard.
I don't know. I've been using Redstream. I can't remember. I actually really like it.
Yeah.
Because you can throw up QR codes and stuff like that.
Wow. That's
So
nice.
go take a look at the conversation that Jill and I had. So what we did was the show for Breaking Norms, Building Dreams, Breaking Norms, whichever. We did the full hour last week at 12 to 1. And then the next day on Tuesday, we popped in and said, like, what is our takeaways from our conversation? What's one thing? And then try to revert everyone to go watch the radio show.
Yeah. That's cool.
We're using Redstream, and I could use like the little QR code and just tell people to book like business audits with us.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with StreamYard. I wish it had the ability to control the soundboard on Instagram, which it doesn't either. And it doesn't post the comments on LinkedIn. So the comments that I just posted now, you have to put them directly through LinkedIn. But I think that's more like a LinkedIn problem, like when they do their integrations.
Yeah, and the
Right.
connection, I think, too, for Instagram. Like, I think Redstream has the similar things, to be honest.
Yeah. So it might not be StreamYard. I'm just being funny here. So,
StreamYard, I do like. Like the
Mm-hmm.
other one, because to be honest, it was cheaper too. Always trying to find a deal over here. Always an
okay. That's okay. Yeah. So what would you say are kind of like the trends that are upcoming for the fall? What do you think people are looking to do the most? So after we're done these audits and whatever, what are people leaning towards?
I would say for sure just getting the systems set up, more or less, like, because we present so much in the business audits, from systems to marketing to everything in between. I think a good chunk end up rolling more into fixing up their workflow and systems, or even implementing. Some might not even have it.
Right. So if you had to pick one thing in your business, what would you be working on right now in the summer?
Oh my gosh, if I had time.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. I said if.
To be honest, it'd be nice to go back into the workflows that we did set up for myself.
Yeah.
Just retweaking those a little bit. Fixing some of the videos. But you know what? Done's better than perfect. And part of me feels like it's not perfect. So I think for me, like, I need to go back in there and refix some of the stuff. But it's operating, it's moving along as it needs to. But I would definitely say cleaning up a bit of the workflow, and then pushing more of the ladies into blue. I found that one to be a struggle because we were just so used to the kind of
chat.
Yeah,
I find that too. Honestly, it's hard for me too. I use blue as well, and it's hard for me too.
Yeah, I would say that's like the biggest. So I'm trying to figure out like that solution. It's hard for change management, right? So that's the biggest thing when you're working with team, when you introduce something new. making everyone sure that everyone's on the same page. But like I felt it very difficult because some people would message me on the team from Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Slack. So it's like
I got rid of Slack finally. I didn't want to keep paying for it. So I finally got rid of Slack. We still use WhatsApp. We still use like texting, but not so much clients. Clients have adapted a lot to WhatsApp, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. I find WhatsApp. I would say WhatsApp really. I would say like only one person on our team is on Slack because they don't really like WhatsApp. So that's the one person. And I feel like once I convert her, then I feel like it'd be more flowing. Finally, blue WhatsApp. Yeah.
I think so, yeah. It's
she has
just
one
nice group too.
Yeah. This one subcontractor, like it's no issue because she knows what she needs to do. We usually just check in at the end of the month and invoice and payment, and that's that. Like I don't micromanage. So
yeah.
I know she knows what she's doing. And so it's just, we're really never talking on Slack anyways. It's just a backup if we need it at this point now.
Right. That's not bad though. Right. Yeah. That's not bad.
But overall, like it'd be nice to like tweak those little things. I know the gaps in my business for sure. But I think that's what I'm really good at.
So I'm telling you right now, the website I need to redo, and I'm actually working on laying down a lot of these workflows because I'm putting them in the book. I think I'm going to share that with everybody, which I'm excited about. Guys, I'm supposed to be going on vacation, but I think I'm just going to be writing my book the whole time. But I'm not going to be complaining because I'll be on a sandy beach somewhere or in some beautiful mountains. Who knows? I'm currently trying to convert a friend from Scotland to come see me in Greece for the weekend. I don't know, just just girly stuff. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm jealous.
Yeah,
I'll live through you.
I know, but I will be working, so hit me up, Britt.
Okay, perfect. Well, you need some time away too. I know how we all need to have that little reset for sure. But I feel like things are definitely interesting this year. This for the market in a nutshell for everyone who's listening.
Yeah.
So many industries from we work with a bakery and their sales are down. We work with an energy company, sales are down. We've worked with real estate. We work with like everybody has said that there's a change in the market. So I just kind of wanted to throw this out there for anybody listening and they're in this state of chaos and this state of stress. You're not alone. The market's bumpy right now. And just make sure you ask for help and just build a community around you to support you to the next phases. Because we as entrepreneurs, it's like a roller coaster.
Yeah, I think that's the most important part. I think we kind of took it too far with social media where we thought that complete strangers were going to all of a sudden buy all of our services. And I think that's wrong. After speaking to so many entrepreneurs on the show too, I think the idea is community. So spend more time building your community than you are trying to impress a whole bunch of new people. Yeah. I'll tell you right now, my analytics, especially on Instagram, I have a very small percentage of my analytics that are new versus followers. So it means that I'm engaging my followers enough that already know me somewhat, right? That I am getting those leads through and I am, giving some sort of value to people that they want to come back or that they want to book a meeting right through me, right? So I think community is the key. So work with your community and see where you can get instead of trying to cast this like wide net of people, right? Yeah. I think so. I think that's the case. Also nurturing your past clients. That's probably a gold mine that a lot of people don't have time to go through, right? Yeah.
I find we sometimes let those slip through the cracks a little bit. I do like personal like one-on-one emails and just ask how things are going. Little check-ins.
Yeah. Totally. It's the way to go. So just a quick reminder, guys, we're at the end here. If you wanted to check out Brittney and her team, it's creativedynamicsva.com. I posted it in the comments. You can find our Creative Dynamics VA on Instagram as well and on Facebook. Thank you so much for coming on, Brittney. This was super fun. Obviously, the hour flew by. So
I knew
come
it
on
would.
anytime.
Well, we'll make a plan on maybe conversations that we can kind of lead off from the business audits in different ways.
Yeah, and if people want to send us those kinds of things, and that was great. So let's see what Mel said. That was refreshing. Love your point of views. Thank you so much, Mel.
Thank you.
I think that maybe we should, you know what? Maybe we should send Mel an invite too, and just get her in. Maybe we'll have group chat. We'll have group chat shows.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to also shout out the station. Thank you to everybody in the chat room. Big thank you to the United Public Radio Network and UFO Paranormal Radio Network for giving us this platform. And thank you to everybody that is tuning in. And we will see you next week. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.